You ever have one of those ideas that just will not leave you alone? Like it shows up while you're trying to fall asleep, it whispers at you in the shower, and follows you into the grocery store. That was me starting this YouTube channel and starting my podcast. I had no clue what I was doing. I was scared, unprepared, and way too caught up in thinking I needed it all figured out before I started. But I didn't. I didn't have to have it all figured out. And I am living proof that messy action works. So let's rewind for a second. Before I started the podcast, I had this little voice saying, Emily, you've got things to say, and women need to hear it. But right behind that voice was another one, louder, sassier, and kind of rude, saying, who do you think you are to start a podcast? You don't know how to record or edit. You're not a 20-something influencer with a ring light and a TikTok dance routine. Even though I actually do have a ring light, but it reflects in my glasses, so I don't use it. But at that moment right there is where so many of us get stuck. We let fear disguise itself as logic. We tell ourselves we're just waiting until the timing is right. But truthfully, we're waiting to feel ready. And guess what? That day never comes. And I remember sitting at my desk with my laptop open, mic still in the box, thinking, maybe next month. Maybe once I read one more article or watch one more tutorial. And then it hit me. If I keep saying maybe next month, a year from now, I'm still going to be sitting right here thinking about it instead of doing it. So I did what I now call a midlife mic drop. I hit record, and let's be clear. That first episode was a hot mess express. The audio was fuzzy, my mic volume was a little too loud, and I kept tripping over my words like I was in a verbal obstacle course. And at one point, I just literally said, okay, let me start over. And I did. I started over about 15 times. But even after all of the restarts, people got the unfiltered, completely human version of me, bloopers and all. And I uploaded it. And something magical happened. I woke up the next morning to messages from women saying, Emily, that's exactly how I feel. Or it felt like I was sitting with a friend having coffee. They didn't care about the sound quality. They cared about the connection. They cared about what was being said to them. And that was the first big lesson. People don't need your perfection. They need your presence. And after that, I stopped trying to make everything flawless. I learned as I went. Every episode got a little bit better. And not because I suddenly became a sound engineer, but because I was doing it. Messy action builds momentum. It gets you out of your head and into movement. You can read all the books, take all the courses, and still not know how it feels to actually do the thing until you do it. And I started noticing something. When I showed up messy, either here or in my podcast, other women felt permission to show up imperfectly too. It's like giving each other a little nod that says, hey, you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have it all together either. That's where the real magic happens. When you realize people don't connect to your polish, they connect to your process. So there I was. Podcast rolling, stories flowing, women tuning in every week. And then I got that familiar nudge again. And I said, okay, it's time to take it up a notch. Let's do video. And here I am. Now, my YouTube channel has evolved, and here I am. Sometimes growth looks like stepping into something that makes you wildly uncomfortable. And as this channel has evolved over the past probably 2 years, and those original videos are not available any longer, I am in the place where I am meant to be. And you know what? My lighting is not great. My hair doing whatever it wants. And editing, yeah, I don't edit. I don't know how to do that, but I'm still here because I'm showing up anyway. And the more you show up, the more natural it becomes. Messy turns into momentum, and momentum turns into mastery. Messy action taught me so many lessons I didn't expect. Clarity comes through motion, and you don't find confidence first. You earn it through trying, and every small step builds muscle. You can't edit what you don't start. So whether it's a podcast, a project, or a personal goal, you can always tweak it later. But you can't improve something that doesn't exist. Your imperfect start is someone else's permission slip. By showing up as you are, you quietly tell others you can start too. Sure, growth feels awkward. And you know what? That's okay. Every new thing feels clunky at first. It's supposed to. It means that you're stretching. It means that you're growing. And I'm going to add one more little thing. Midlife doesn't mean we stop starting. If anything, it means we finally have the wisdom to start without needing it to be all perfect. So let's be real for a second. Behind every podcast episode and every YouTube video, there's usually a small pile of something out of the frame. A cup of coffee, it's right here, and a woman reminding herself that done is better than perfect. You don't see the takes I deleted, the times I lost my train of thoughts, or the moments I doubted whether anyone was even listening. But you also don't see the quiet victories. The email from the listener who said my episode helped her start journaling again. Or the comment from someone who said, this made me feel less alone. That's the kind of proof you can't buy, you can't plan, and you can't fake. That's the kind that only comes when you take messy action. What's wild is how one messy action leads to another. That first episode led to a second, and the second one led to a small following, and that following has led me back here, and here we are, this little corner of the internet where women show up real, raw, and unfiltered, all because I stopped waiting to feel ready. And I wonder, what could happen in your life if you stopped waiting too? What if you hit record? What if you started the blog, took the class, sent the email, or walked into that gym again? Messy action is how you build a life that feels alive again. If I could go back and tell that version of me, the one staring at her unopened microphone box almost a year ago, I would tell her, you don't need to be perfect. You need permission. Permission to start where you are with what you have and to trust that the path will appear as you walk it. Because when you move, the universe moves with you. Messy action works every time. So if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. I'm it. Start now. Start messy. Start scared, but start. And I'm going to talk more about this on my podcast. The episode is called Proof That Messy Action Works, or something like that. I haven't quite figured that out yet. But it's I'm going to go deeper into how taking small and imperfect steps completely changed the direction of my life. And you can find it all coming this week. It should upload, I guess I should say, on Saturday. So I will link I'll put the podcast link, like my actual podcast link, not the episode link, in the description below so that you can have it. And just stay tuned. And just remember, you just have to take the step to move forward. So take that step, and I'll talk to you soon.